Good morning. I am higher vibrations, and so are you. There's been so much energy. Oh my goodness. Most of you are feeling it. There was this. There's a lot of science that usually backs or shows you that specific kind of energy is coming in before it does. Though it was really fascinating that this uh, bloom of energy that we're getting isn't as easily explained by science. I find it really fun um, to see the scientific people trying to explain what's occurring right now. So, as a lot of you have seen, there was a big spike in the Schumann resonance. Before that, we had an unexpected geomagnetic storm. Um, the symptoms I've been having have been pretty intense the past couple of. So we had the parade of planets a few weeks ago, and this was kind of like, okay, here we go. It's like it's showtime. Is kind of what it felt like for me. And though we've had a lot of stuff that's happened over the years and the recent months and weeks, this was a window of time that was easily point at a bull observable. And so um anyhow, the past couple of days, one of the things that I have been noticing is I like the day before last, or yeah, it was day before last, night before last. I so that would have been Friday night, I guess, Friday or Saturday. I can't remember. This was a time where we had all of a sudden I felt incredibly bloated, and like this lower GI purge started to really occur. Started to have a lot more just noticing my torso. So, like the solar plexus, that chakra that's like only a few finger widths above your navel. And then my sacral chakra, which is a few finger widths below your navel or your belly button. And then, of course, the root chakra area, noticing all of this stuff coming in. Like while it was happening, man, that was very uncomfortable experience physically. A lot of other reports from this type of stuff, people are reaching out saying they really haven't left their bathroom. Other people are talking about the vibrations that we're having. Our bodies are vibrating as this frequency. As we reach this higher frequency, immediately at first, we do typically kind of vibrate. Our bodies start to shiver or shake. And it's best if you consider it close enough. It's probably more most accurately described as vibrating, though it's very crazy. Um, just having all of this like stuff going on. Usually it's the center of your core is where you're vibrating from, and it just kind of like reverberates out. This is a lot of stuff that really everyone's experiencing something like this. By the way, what's occurring typically when we're feeling this way, this weird vibration stuff, it's kind of fun to know. We very quickly find a balance in this energy that we're reaching into. And so we don't stay here forever, just so you know. Though, when we reach a higher frequency, when we connect to a higher frequency energy, typically we're more familiar with this when there's a being, a presence comes to us, and we feel that, whoa, our body starts to shake or to vibrate. Our frequency just is not used to this frequency. And so it's this wah kind of thing. A lot of people are getting it. So I just kind of wanted to bring that up because a lot of individuals are reporting this. Um, Appetite shifting has been really intense. We're in what we've been talking about. The guides have been telling me to talk about for some time. We're here. So we're in the window of time, and it's Father's Day. So for those of you who celebrate this, happy Father's Day. Um, I feel like I know more women that act as the father than I do men, and I it's not because this is a correct demographic of the world. It just happens to be my circle tends to be more females, and there's a lot of single moms in my world. So um, I just wanted to say I'm not taking away from the masculine. However, those of you who are stepping in the role of father, whether you're a female or you're not biologically connected to the child, thank you for your service. Thank you for being this father figure, for presenting yourself to these young, amazing souls, these recently incarnated masters who need you, and you need them. So thank you for all the work that you do. I know it's not easy. So I became very emotional with that. Um, so let's grab a comment. We have Leslie says, that's been me, the washroom. Yeah, man, lots and lots of bathroom right now. Spiritual warrior, hello, beautiful souls. Good to see you. Eric says, great nostalgia, mourning and grief, great release. Yeah, this has been really strong for a lot of individuals the past little while. Grief has been coming up in a lot of different ways. If we can't find the natural occurrence, then something will come in to trigger it, to bring in this experience so we can have it and so it can go. Most often, when I've felt into it and asked the questions, I've found that on the other side of the grief that the person's experiencing is actually grief of self. That the root, the thing that's trying to be triggered so it can be felt and then can go, is realizing we are leaving behind who and what we've known for many incarnations. We're not just talking about this specific lifetime, though, of course, that's the most recent and therefore going to impact us in the deepest way. Anyway, just because what you're leaving behind is unfavorable, something you don't want, does not mean that we don't always feel some type of mourning, some type of grief, needing to say goodbye. We are kind of a bunch of individuals in some type of like Stockholm syndrome, right? Because we got used to our captors. We got used to the limitations of these prisons that have been self-perpetuated and self-imposed based on conditioning that we're unlearning now. So anyway, yeah, there's a lot of this experience right now. So the answer to this question, or to this difficulty, is to feel it. Like you said, Eric, release, allowing it to go, allowing it to move. And emotion is energy in motion. And when we don't experience it, then it's a stagnation energy that it creates some type of a prison. It holds it in place and limits its ability to flow further through. You're welcome, Colleen. Thank you for your understanding. She said she meant to say recording here. Yes, you're welcome. Good to see you, Eric. Love from Alaska. Oh, dude, Alaska right now, man. So one of the things that I do is I can kind of when I do remote viewing, I like to look at the planet energy, and Alaska's got a couple of some spikes. There's a whole underground riverway of energy that's spiking through that whole side of the continent. So not only Alaska, but we're talking about like Washington State, Oregon, even parts of California right now. The energy that's happening over there is intense. It's big. It's a lot of releasing. It's kind of like, feels like geysers of emotion, unexperienced emotion that's just coming up and moving through, which can be pleasant if we don't understand if the emotions that are moving through aren't us. So just keep that in mind. I'd love to hear, Eric, how energies feel. Hi, Kenny. So good to see you. The spiritual wackadoo. I love your name. Anyone feeling the tingling? Yeah. Of the feet and the hands. I'm also getting it through my arms and legs, but you're right. It starts. So this is okay. I'm excited. I'm so happy you brought this up. The healing hands are coming on. So when we look at our energetic bodies, we find, they're the 7 chakras people talk about are real. They really are there. There's just a lot more of them. then we talk about. Those are like we would call them the primary colors, right? And as you all know, when you've gone out to try to get, some basic paint and you like end up in a million color aisle, you understand there's a lot of frequencies that are derived from this and within the hand. So energetically, and I this is really fun to do if you want to try it in a meditative state. You don't have to go very deep. Then venture from your third eye as if you are now a microscopic energy. It's kind of like remote viewing in a way, in a meditation state, and going into your hand. You get to follow into your hand and you see the chakra that people talk about. Then you see the system of chakras that makes up that chakra. Then you see another system of chakras and it goes deeper and deeper and deeper. But the healing hands are turning on and the feet are activating with the same purpose. It's the same thing, as above, so below. It's a cycle. Everything is cyclical. Anyway, and then within this, if you go deep enough, far enough, you actually find that you're in the cosmos. And as you keep going, then you find actually a planet that's where you're at. And you go to yourself, but this is not really yourself. It's like it's a different self. It's really like a different reality or something. And when we do that, you can actually call the fragment of that someone back, and it brings you more present and more whole. So these rings aren't beside one another any longer. Now they merge. And that's what we're doing, is we're merging. It's really fun. And so it's useful to be able to have your healing hand activation happen leading to this. So the left hand is the giving hand. The left hand is where the energy goes out. Always, in fact, the left ring finger is the most powerful spiritual finger or appendage or body part that we have when it comes to directing energy. So to give with the left, receive with the right. And when you're doing this in a cyclical way, you do it this way. You send it out here, you bring it in here, it goes through, down, back out. And we do this. And this is how this whole thing cycles through. As you're doing that, the same thing's occurring with your feet. It helps a lot if we put our feet in the soil. This is called earthing. There's a science behind it now. That was one of the first things that I was convinced I had invented. And then a few years later, suddenly psychology invented that. I mean, I didn't invent. Obviously, our feet are designed the way that they are for the reason that so they can do this. The pores at the bottom of our feet are the largest pores in our body. This is how we do what we call ionization, which in the psychological world, they call earthing. Same thing. Your body collects positively charged ions, which makes that disruptive energy that sounds like that when you're tuning the radio and you get that really screwed up frequency, that's what it feels like. That's what being full of positively charged ions feels like. So we put our feet in the soil, and what happens naturally, it's a naturally occurring mechanism that happens immediately, is the positively charged ions leave our body through the pores of our feet, go into Gaia. Gaia accepts them gratefully. She knows what to do. So she's happy to take them, transmute them, and then we find ourselves full of what we call negatively charged ions, which is what we want. It sounds the opposite, like the positive, negative. I think they do that on purpose to confuse people. It's always been a thing. So thank you, Spiritual Wackadoo, for bringing up the activation of the healing hands. Spiritual Warrior, interesting. I was just sitting, vibrating before you went live. There we go, another vibrator. A lot of people are vibrating. It's really weird. Pardon me. And excuse me. It's really weird feeling and talking about it first, because we don't realize that sometimes we don't even realize what we're feeling. I remember my first experience with it back then when I first started to experience that. I used to keep a phone. That is back when phones had the little clip that went on your pocket or your belt. Remember those phones, the flip phones? And I would feel the vibration in my core, and I would go to touch my phone to see if someone was calling me or something. And my phone wasn't there. And I was like, what the heck? Because it vibrates the core of your like pelvis area and like your lower body at first. At least that was my experience. Um, and then it starts to spread out and swell into more of you. And then it kind of balances itself out until we're introduced to new higher frequency energy. It's really fascinating. Now, what's happening now, which we're all doing, is instead of being introduced in doses to this higher frequency, we're bringing our planet to this place. And so we are going this, we're moving to this place. So it's slowly moving into a hot tub kind of idea. Allow yourself to take your time. A lot of people, I would say, are so excited to finally be here when their gifts turn on that their over enthusiasm, and there's not over anything, I guess, but being that they're so enthusiastic, they bring in a lot of stuff right away because they're so excited when it's coming in gradually already, and they just kind of turn the faucet up. Um, it's kind of like the idea when you're steering a boat. You don't really realize that you're steering so far that way because you don't see the boat moving yet. So you like keep steering that way, and then all of a sudden you're just like, it's the same concept, just it's a gradual shift. It's slowly. So allow yourself to just be in the energy that you're in, invite it in. And the answer to all of these things is to have a receiving heart. Many of us, I would say, I would be surprised if I met someone who doesn't have this conditioning of low self-worth. And we've come here with this burden already. And then we've also taken on some more trauma and adopted more of this conditioning while we've been in this experience. Low self-worth usually leads to the belief that whatever's being given, that's coming in, there's some type of internal dialogue saying, I don't deserve it or something like that. And so all we need to do is to shift that is honestly, self-affirmation stuff really does work. Saying you're awesome, whatever, though the loophole for temporary use is to simply say, I open myself to receive. I open my heart to receive. I am now open to receive, something like that. And to say it frequently throughout your days, especially now. So this started Friday officially, according to what my guides, what spirit, what everybody's been channeling through me to say about this time, was Friday through to next Sunday. So we got a whole week of this. And so it started though a couple of days ago. So this goes until the 20, I think that's the 23rd, but the 22nd is really what they're talking about. I typically stay up till about 2 or 3 in the morning, though. Oh, by the way, for some reason, I've been waking up at 5 o'clock every day the past couple of days. If I'm not already awake, which because of my schedule, sleeping has just been crazy lately. Then we got that Schumann spike and everything. So loud ringing in the ears. Ears have started ringing more lately. I've noticed that too. That just barely came back. I mean, like we've had it here and there, but to this profound experience, I've been noticing it too. I was just telling somebody else about it. Good to see you, sweetie. Hi, Vanita. I did a show with Vanita recently. If anyone didn't catch it, it is on her channel. I don't know did I share it? I'll share it because I don't remember if I did. It's been so crazy the past little while. It was such a fun conversation to chat with Vanita. Elevate with Elevate with V is her channel. So if anyone is interested, is really cool. Happy Father's Day, and the ones playing the roles as a father. Thank you so much. That's a beautiful, beautiful statement. Joanne, really acidic chest pain, digestive differences, and cramps in lower legs. So this lower extremity stuff has been something that a lot of people have been reporting. Either it is hips or knees usually. So lower legs is something that I haven't heard about just yet, but a lot of stuff regarding the ankles. So I'm not surprised. What we're doing if you pull back and look at ourselves in an energetic way, we look kind of like a deep sea fish, like the deep sea ones that don't come up to the surface very easily. And we kind of look kind of like that on our way of ascending through the energy. So everything looks kind of like a pear. Our energy looks like a pear. I know it sounds really weird, but Spirit showed me how to explain this by explaining it to me, by showing me the ocean. And in the ocean, we were in a dirty ocean. The ocean was gray, and we were underneath in the water looking at it. And Spirit put this glass, which was an example of what I knew was a filter. And the filter is a, um, a holding spot, or a point that we use as an example of moving from a dimension to another. Okay. So then we have that filter, and that next series of water that you see is clearer, is less murky. And then there's another one, and it's less murky still, and so on. They showed me that we're in between 7 and 8 right now. Everyone's been saying 5D and all this stuff, and it doesn't really matter, I suppose, because every time I say 3D, I always feel like, that doesn't really apply. That's not a correct word. But, and so filter is a way of describing pulling some of this density off of us. The extra stuff that we've been using in a lower frequency place is no longer useful in this place that we're at. So we're pulling this energy down. It's going down and moving down into these areas, and they're meant to be guided as roots of a tree into the ground, to let Gaia take it. It like the roots of our own energy go into the ground, and then there's like this film that's on the outside of our own energy roots that kind of gets scrubbed off by the soil itself in an energetic way that it's beautiful. So this is something that can help. After that long explanation, sending this energy on purpose as roots of a tree, down, like so, pulling in the light of God, either to your heart, crown, whatever feels correct for you, moving that energy down through your body. Watch the progression as it moves down, down, down through your body. And then when it starts to get to, for instance, like the tips of your fingers or to your root chakra, let it release and begin to kind of like make roots of a tree of light into the ground. And then moving down through the legs, still the roots are digging while you're still in your body, because you got to move down past your hips, your thighs, your upper legs, and all of it down into the knees. The light usually likes to swirl around the knees, so let it do that. Visualize it's like a ball of swirly, cool light. It looks like the unmixed glue when you're a kid. Remember how shimmery, shiny it looks? Kind of like that. And then keep watching it going down your shins and your calves, the rest of your lower legs, and into your ankles and all this. And as soon as it gets to the heels, you'll notice that some more roots will start to dig. There's already a new outlet. And then there's the pad of your foot. And then also there's the toes, so as it moves out, you'll notice as you're digging these roots into the ground that your energy starts to stretch. It feels good. It's you're moving your energy from this pear shape to this. We're much taller energetically than our bodies are. And as we move, we're learning to let our body stretch into it, that it doesn't have to, like, to wear our body as a spirit would wear our body as clothes, to kind of let yourself not have to be all the way inside the body, if that makes any sense. Instead, look at your body as a pair of shorts instead of a pair of pants. It's not going to cover everything, kind of an idea. And it makes it a lot easier then you find that we have many energy roots that interact with the world around us, that a lot of our ability to move things has to do with these energy appendages that actually leave your body. Long explanation, but it's really cool. I love this topic, so thank you for bringing this up. I've been having the weird indigestion I never get, acidic chest pains. Haven't had anything like that for a long time either. So I just wanted to also mention that. Feels like Reiki vibrations. Hey, good example, Donna. Reiki vibrations being sent from especially my palms right now to the world. I feel like a high shift an hour or so ago. Yeah. And that was when the Schumann was still in the spike. I don't know if anyone saw that. When I use Restream, I don't know why Restream is this way, but I have no idea how to share screen. Like I click it and then whoa, now it's working. That's funny. Well, maybe in the future we'll start using the share screen option. It never worked before when I was trying before. Anyway, so let's see. You're going to be able to see that. Well, so you really can't see a close view of this very well here, but this is the Schumann resonance. And see this energy spike here? This little spot right here where it's still spiking and there's a lot of braiding and stuff going on. So this spike just occurred, just ended actually recently. So we're having that on the Schumann. This I get from an app because it's more current. I get it gets updated in the minute. Anyway, not only that, but we had a large geomagnetic storm that came in, and so we're having we're being activated right now, and so all of us are healers. All of us are able to do all of the things that we find practitioners to do for us. We're all channelers. We're all able to do energy shifting. This human body is able to rejuvenate in a lot of different ways that we haven't been taught how to do, and it doesn't matter why anymore. We're learning how to do it again. And when we have these conversations like we're doing now, or in the groups like we do on Fridays and stuff like that, we share things that we don't realize are what we're sharing with each other exactly. You're just talking about your day or whatever, and you realize that other people are having the same experience. You realize that other people are learning how to do these things for the first time. And perhaps it's the first time that there's been a vocabulary assigned to describe what we're experiencing. And so there's just a lot of this activation happening right now. And we all of a sudden are in a place. It's like we all of a sudden are the kids that someone unlocked the toy store and said, okay, go ahead, figure it out. And then kind of left. There's no adults to put it together or to show you the instructions. It's just like, okay, let's figure out how to make these toys work, and it's awesome. It's a lot of fun. It's also it's good to know you're not doing it alone. We're all learning this. It's really cool. So when we connect in the grid, it looks kind of like a web, I guess, around the planet with intention, connecting with the purpose of doing shared work, service. Now, work isn't the right word. Shared service, energy exchange, and stuff like this in a planetary way. You'll find your soul family reaching back out to you through the cosmos, through the ethers, without even having had conversations in places like this. Then down the road, what's happening to me now is now I'm meeting y'all. The people I've been meeting in the ethers and doing this work with. We've recently been working on the Bermuda Triangle a lot more than we ever did. We were working with Tibet and Sri Lanka for some time, but we've got to move recently. So now it's this Bermuda Triangle, and there's this area of Hawaii that we're working in. And it's cool because then you run into people later on. You're like, hey, wait a minute. And usually I'll wait for the person to say something to me before I bring it up. So it's kind of fun. Tingling in the feet, especially at night. This is really common for a lot of people, I would say. I also, have you guys been noticing it's like your feet and your hands are having hot and cold flashes? It's really weird. Just the feet or just the hands. Like I'll find when I'm having these experiences that I'll be sitting on the counter. I'll just have my feet inside the running sink that's just trickling cold water. Like it's crazy. And then everything's good again. It has to do with the activations that are happening. I'm pretty sure. Eric says, yes, Mila, Alaska is hopping. I knew it. I feel it. This has been my area to anchor since 1953. I'm a first waver, laugh out loud. Loving all this. Awesome. Thank you for sharing, Eric. That is really cool. I find it fascinating that you use the word anchor because anchor and Alaska belong together. So that's funny. That's really cool. Since 1953, you've been there through a lot of shifts. Thank you for your service. That's cool. There's more. The trees feel the energy shift in Alaska. It's remarkable. Yeah, talking to the trees right now, guys. If you get a chance, please give yourself the gift of going out and talking to a tree right now. Really, I know. I know it's like that hashtag cringe hippie joke thing that we heard in high school or whatever, tree hugger, granola, whatever. Like I just learned to realize I actually am one of those. I am a granola, and I'm okay with it. There is truth and reality to interacting with trees. Hugging a tree, this exchange is profoundly beneficial to you. The wise energy at first feels a minute, for the first minute feels kind of hard, different, because the way they speak feels so much slower than we're used to. And to be quite honest, I only slow down my speech to be understood. I am very, when I watch YouTube videos, I have it at double speed usually. Like, uh, I come from, that's just how it is. And so I'm constantly teaching my daughter to slow down too. Um, anyway, so that was my first, it was a little off-putting for me at first, just at first. um and then allowing myself just to exchange with the tree, just be in it. We're not in a hurry. Whatever's supposed to come through will. And then it starts to get like, whoa, swelling louder, and you get more and more. And the depth, it's kind of like when you have telepathic conversations where instead of saying, hi, how are you? Good, how are you? What are you doing? Da, 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 da. That stuff doesn't happen in this telepathic conversation. You like enter into the sphere of their knowing of the things that they know, and you absorb the parts that they kind of are trying to convey to you. So it's as if you've already always had that information, that knowledge, that input. And it's similar to that of a tree, only the tree takes longer. So it's like you're slowly, now you're here. And it's like, now I understand the whole thing that you're trying to tell me. And then that will take sometimes days or longer to fully digest and understand what the tree was explaining to you. Often it assists more and more as you reach back out to the tree. So thank you for bringing the trees up. They really healing too. It's not just knowledge. The kind of stuff that they're bringing forward is amazing. Vanita, thank you, Pamela. It was an amazing and fun co-creation. That was really fun. So glad you shared yesterday sitting outside, palms facing up toward the sun. I felt my hands feeling more activated. Yeah, that's cool. Thank you for sharing that, Vanita. Letting yourself do that. I do this all the time. Whenever anything comes in, actually, I always put my palms up and receiving. This is my, like, the way I interact with spirit. There's a lot of visuals. Like, I see a lot of pictures and moments that mean things, and then like that kind of stuff. Then I also have a background around in sign language, so there's a lot of hand gestures. I didn't used to talk with my hands very much, and then picking up sign language now I do. um, anyway, this means I accept, I thank you, I'm receiving it. This is without having to change the way that my head is working, to move into that more conscious, using your voice sometimes pulls you from a deep trance. And so I'll just put my hands up, and that means thank you, I'm receiving it. If it's the sun, though, it's even more profound. I find that putting your face to it as well is really helpful. So I just remembered my daughter. She was so funny when we were having the eclipse, and she was shouting. She's like, I'm not blind. I can look at the sun. Um, there's a lot of stuff that's being told to us about things that to be scared about, so we don't do the thing. And then we find out that that was just a way to get us to not do it. So, Edward, a lot of shifts are happening on Father's Day. Yeah. Yeah, so Spirit been telling me this was called the Father's Day disclosure for now. I went back and found out it was 2 years ago, when the messages first started coming in, and that this had to do with the lockdown stuff, without going into it very deep. And so as this happens, the system of the medical system, the breakdown of this is now underway. As the medical system breaks down, then it makes it possible for the other systems to break down. They've already been breaking down, though. There's been like hairs of things holding it together and keeping it doing what it's doing. This isn't scary. This isn't a reason for alarm. It's a thing to be celebrated. That yay. Though, yeah, there's a shift when we become expectant of always having something as a way of doing things available to us at all times, and then it becomes no longer available. There's a time of disruption. And those who don't know what's going on are going to be feeling probably likely more disrupted, and alarmed. So allowing yourself to just kind of keep your own space if possible, for, do what it is you feel correct to do. I'm being guided to just kind of hang out. Like, you don't have to go, and I'm not going to go to like the county fair right now. Not that there is one right now, though. That isn't something I would go do. I'm letting everybody do their thing, and when I am meant to be out in the large groups of people, then that's what I'm meant to do. And in those cases, I am very aware of my energy, pulling in the energy from the core, allowing it to blow up as a balloon would when you exhale the light that you had breathed in through your nose, exhaling through your mouth, creating an orb of energy and going into these places. Um, there again, there's nothing to be worried about. It's just they're basic. The energy feels like when everybody's out shopping the last minute on Christmas, like the day or two before Christmas. When it's like everybody, like, you didn't even know there were that many people everywhere, anywhere, and now they're all in the same store. Kind of that energy. That's what they're showing me. It feels like. So, you know, if you don't mind it, then it's fine, and just keeping that in mind, letting you know that's what's occurring, because there's some individuals who are freaking out. And when we all go through our periods of awakening, when we realize that there's so many things that we believed that we were told were true, and then finding out that they weren't, there's an emotional response typically. So Omega 333, hello Mila. Speaking of earring, when I hear doctors say my earring is, then I ask them why my sound is like a phone modem. Wait, let me read that again. When I hear the doctor say my ear ringing is, then I ask them why my sound is like a phone modem. I don't understand your question exactly, but so your ear ringing sounds like a phone modem. I have that experience, sort of. It sounds similar to that when I interact with certain social media platforms. That's actually why I don't use the Messenger and Facebook. The Messenger specifically is just, there's so much distortion that I can't focus. It's not like it's causing me any lasting damage. It just, to focus enough to read and comprehend what's being written or read, and then to respond in a focused manner that makes sense, it is very difficult for me. So, because it does sound kind of like the old modem. Lizzie says, "What causes digestive upset, digestive issues, upset stomach with lots of food, and bowel upsets with tense headache?" Okay, I'm trying to. What causes it? I can, okay. So the digestive stuff. Well, I'm gonna, okay. Excuse me. Is separate from what you're talking about. So there's a whole bunch of different things that you just described. Um, so the headaches are completely opposite spectrum when it comes to what chakra you're looking at. If you're looking for an underlying cause in an emotional sense, the best way to do it is one at a time, finding the exact organ that's being affected and something unpleasant's happening with it, and to use whatever search engine you prefer online. And what I'll do is I'll search what emotion is related to, and then fill in the blank, like add stomach, and you'll get a result of what the emotional body is. This underlying emotional body typically is what's actually causing the distortion. It's something that needs to be released. um, we'll find in the gallbladder it's about relationships, which is really common right now because so many people are realizing that where we're at right now, we don't get on this train with other people. We meet them on the train and we say, "Oh, I'm so glad you're here. Yay." Though we can't come in together. it's like it's a single file only situation. um, Sometimes the visual is an airplane or airport, or sometimes it's a train or a train station. Occasionally I've seen it like docks in a boat, but I'm really not all about the boats. I'm not a big fan of boats. I got my own reasons. um, I love swimming though. Anyway, um, that people are trying to come on with their family, with their relations, and they're being told you got to come on alone. And instead of being in their release of these relationships, these relations, and allowing themselves to be where they're at, most often what we're doing in this spirit space is kind of like counsel. They end up leaving abruptly before, and right after they leave, the one that they're looking for enters the plane or enters the train. And it's just this cycle thing that's happening. And it's release. This gallbladder is about releasing. Learning how to do that is difficult, especially if you're a parent or somehow a caretaker to somebody, and there's that internal obligation to that. There's not, we're not saying stop feeding your kids. What I'm saying is there's this way to do it where you release them and give them to God, is kind of the way to say it, and allowing yourself to kind of step back and be doing your own thing, spiritually speaking, still guiding, still being the teacher. See, it's a real complex topic that I don't know how to cover very thoroughly without making it make sense. But anyway, so this has a lot to do with the stomach stuff. This has a lot to do with the digestion stuff that we're talking about. And then on top of that, we are also having a grand purge. So there's a lot of things in our body that we're releasing, a lot of toxins that we've taken on into our body over the years, over the course of the different pregnancies, meaning you were the egg that you became, that you were the perfectly formed egg that became the child that you are, and so on and so forth, while you were in the belly of your mom, while she was in the belly of her mom. I didn't say that very easily, but I hope that made sense. So while your mom was in her mom, while your mom was the baby in your grandma, the egg that made you was complete and intact. So all things that your grandma ate, that she breathed, that she experienced in the world around her, was potentially absorbed by you, by the egg that you were. And then continuing on down the road, now we have increased our frequency high enough that, again, just like that pear shape that we're doing of the energy, because there's stuff on us that wants to leave. As we're doing that, we're seeing that this release is allowing for, sorry, I got distracted. I just got coded by something that I saw Elsa write. I apologize. Usually I can multitask. Totally forgot what I was talking about. Sorry. Elsa, hi. Good to see you. Wow. Yeah. So all these toxins, even though they've not been something that's really affected us in a negative way before, now they are they're kind of their weight, unhelpful weight. That's not unnecessary weight. And so kind of like those little sandbags around a hot air balloon that need to be clipped so height can be reached, the same thing is occurring for us with these other toxins, with these things. Some of them were considered to be minerals and useful for your body. And so we're purging these things through the bowel system, through the pores. We're having weird acne, weird skin rashes. The weird acne, Spirit explained to me, is dehydrated sweat, and not even exactly. So they're showing us that sweat has become the vehicle, the vessel, the way, the method of getting these toxins out of our body, a delivery system. And so as it gets to the pores, it's kind of getting stuck up because we're needing more water. I know a lot of you relate to this too. We're retaining a lot more of the water that we're drinking. Very weird. Sorry, Mila. No, that's okay. I love being coded. Um, Parents, plural ones, always plural. Ah ha ha ha. Yeah, dude. This has actually been going through my head for a little bit too. Um, the plural thing has really been a big deal for me. Like for some reason, I've been drawn to over and over and over and over and over again the importance of plural. Everything's plural. And how much more fun things are in plural. Um, by the way, um, when a lot of the stories that we're told growing up, there's a chosen one, a hero, a you know whatever, awesome one. There's all of us. There are many. There, it's a plural. It tells a story in the book of Matthew. In some translations say call it the chosen ones. Other translations call us the elect. We are counted among the number of 144,000. Though to use that number to say that's the how few are in the awakening experience doesn't seem correct. And so it's very fascinating. Mucus, mucking in us, not needed now. Exactly. And this mucus, I got told spirit is, I couldn't believe this. It was so cool to hear it. Um, is spirit explained to me that mucus actually isn't something that is developed. It's like not like a new occurrence. Mucus is the stuff that's been in our body, excuse me, that's been meant to leave for a long time. And now it's doing it. It's been kind of like, um, what's the word? It's like a barrier so electricity won't affect other things. A sheath. It's been a sheath for this dormant DNA, this junk DNA. Remember those days? It wasn't very long ago, but it's funny how few people remember that we used to call 90 to 95% of our DNA junk. 90 to 95% of your DNA, they said, was junk. And I never bought that for a second. That particular semester, I was in the principal's office all the time because I couldn't stand them lying to my peers, man. And they were just, yeah, okay, it's true because you said so. I was like, what? Um, anyway, so this sheath, this protective layer, no longer is needed, and in fact, it's been absorbing these metals, these heavy metals, these different types of toxins, and so it's going out through our pores. And sometimes it's kind of an alarming experience to notice that your sweat is a weird color or feels weird. It has a strange, I don't know, it just has a strange sensation to it. And so it's carrying a lot to with it. We're the ones, we're all the ones. I'm meant to be wearing this birthday suit for 74 years. I'm ageless. Right. Okay. That's awesome. I'm thinking you're probably commenting on something I was talking that was being discussed earlier. I had to jump really far because I realized um, I got so far behind. And narcissist, tarcist, mucus, releasing now. Swear has weird metallic smell. Animals have it too. Sweat. There we go. That makes more sense. Thank you very much. We are ageless. She's like, yeah, we are though. It's crazy. What's happening is weird. I know a lot of you have been experiencing this along with me. It's been really a very beautiful and strange road lately. Over the past few years, watching myself become more youthful in a lot of different ways. Like it's crazy. I had a gray hair growing in, and I don't have it anymore. And like just stuff, I used to always have like that old body feeling, like I really wasn't kind to myself for most of my life because I didn't expect I would need to worry about it. Like there was this part of me that was like, I'm just going to abandon ship. I'm just going to get out of here. I'm going to get out of here. Um, I didn't. And I'm glad that I didn't. Just like a lot of you, I was hopeless and I was really sad. And now we're in a place where hope is the most consistent thing to be found. You know, all things are possible in this new frequency. All things, not just some of them. You know, and it's really getting better. It's really getting better. To talk about Elsa's sweat comment, feeling or tasting metallic, this is something that I've been noticing too. It's really fascinating that you bring this up. Um, it's uh, unpleasant, and you just know what it is that's leaving your body. It's not something you want to put back in your body. Like I am that I don't even care who I'm talking to, what's going on. If I cough up a little bit of mucus, I'm spitting it out. I'm not swallowing that again. You know what I mean? That stuff needs to come out of our bodies right now. Um, and it does, the sweat too has this, it's not something you want to eat, you know. So and try to keep it out of your mouth. But I mean, it's okay. It came from your body. It's just, it's like that whole idea of like, it's so beautiful to take a beautiful stone on the ocean, you know, on the shore and throw it into the water and watch it bounce. And then you realize how long it's taken that poor rock to slowly make its way to the shore, and you just threw it back in the water again. Well, it's the same kind of idea with swallowing it. It's like, well, it can make its way back. It just, it's going to take a while, you know? So, anyway, if you can, allow yourself to, if it does get in your mouth, rinse, by the way. We're wanting a lot more salt and a lot more water in our diets right now. So, allowing yourself to rinse this stuff out, and then also putting a little bit of salt under your tongue before drinking the water is more hydrating. um, we are sending out a lot of toxins right now, so having more uh, uh, vessels, what's the right word, um, median for it to get sent out on by drinking more water, more fluids, is going to help you in this way, because you're already getting dehydrated by sending it all out in sweat and in mucus. Not to mention the fact that right now what they're telling us is the higher water content, the vessel, the more efficient and balanced and harmonic, so in a harmony like way, is these energy, plasma energies coming through us. So water helps to move through your body, helps this plasma move through your body. Plasma is another way of saying the light or the sunbeams, the energy flares that are coming from the sun, the geomagnetic storms that surround us as a result of them, and so on. Um, there's a lot of stuff coming in. So second wave here, born in 1980. Love y'all. Yeah, I'm on the cusp too. It depends on what school of thought you follow, or not what school of thought, but if you go, because there's like this in between place. So some things I resonate with the first waver, and some things I resonate with the second waver. I would say I'm leaning more into the second wave. I'm 79. So I'm like there's like a 5-year cusp that happens on the waves, I think. It's fascinating. Um, how is it being a full-on second waver? I should ask that question more. Good to see you, Rose Matter. I use all tree essential oils to help ground: frankincense, myrrh, and palo santo. I love those. I was just going to show you my big old bag. I have one of them sitting here right now. But palo santo from Ecuador. There's a lot of different things that we can use. Um, frankincense is actually, it's fascinating. Burning it, and this is true frankincense, so it looks like um, sap or something, and you can put it on one of those. I don't even know what they're called. They're like the charcoal plate things. Um, that anyway, this being burnt in the air like that. I remember back, no, I don't know, probably 20 years ago, science was finally noticing that people who have what they were describing spiritual or psychic breakdowns, I think is what they were calling it. They were trying to relate it to being unstable emotionally or having some type of problem to solve. Burning frankincense calmed down and balanced out the energies of all of the emotional outbursts that were occurring for these individuals. People who were considered schizophrenic, people who were considered borderline, people who were considered to have bipolar, and be in one of the experiences. Um, just burning some frankincense in the air. It had, I think they said, like a 2 hour and 45 minute effective window. And so you would want to, light another one every, couple of hours or something like that, if that was how you're solving the problem. But isn't that fascinating? This is all that was needed to calm the energies enough of these awakened people that were being misdiagnosed. All they needed was just to have some calmness coming in. And these are the things that were in the Bible. Those are the three wise men brought this stuff. So it's kind of cool. I'm getting ready to close up soon, but I've got it. Here we go. Junk DNA never resonated with me either, Spiritual Warrior says. God doesn't make junk. That felt like a license forever. Yeah, that was one of the ones that just like, it's so blatantly obvious. You guys are really buying this. Like, especially with the egocentric view of man, like, we're so cool. We're the only ones in the whole cosmos. That's it. Like, after us, the mold was broken, man. And then on top of it, then after making this most perfect thing, the only one that was made, then God's like, well, what do I do with all their stuff? Yeah, I guess I'll shove it in there. Come on. Some of these things, yeah. I've had a ton of mucus in my throat. Lots going on like this. Yeah. I actually been noticing that there's this younger person thing going along right now. Crystalline children who are, you know, early teens all the way down, there's been something that's been happening throughout the planet. I've had examples of people from Africa, from Australia, from New Zealand. I had a couple examples from New South Wales. We had some Canadians I was talking to. We had a couple of others. I think India, yeah. Anyway, but the list was bigger than that. I just can't remember all of them. All over a course of like a couple of days, for some reason, these children are all getting something. There's something happening with them. No matter what the season is, it's not cold season in every part of the world right now, right? Though it is for some areas, it's not for everybody. Yet all these kids seem to be getting something. I asked into it. And this is an activation. This is an upgrade. This is ascension related, is what they said. So for any of you who are having that experience with your little ones, and also with pets, I feel like that there is an uptick in the occurrence with the fur babies. Something you can do, let me find a crystal, to help anybody. This is something that fur babies are more welcoming to do. If you get a crystal of any kind, this is just the one I have right here. And let's say this is the head of the fur baby. This is the tip of the tail. So from the top of the head, just kind of drawing like you're petting all the way down, and just do it again, all the way down. This is on their back. Typically, when you try to do it on the front of them, it does help if they let you. But when you get to because you have to start at the neck. Usually when you get to the neck, that's like time to play, or something like that. So just tracing, doing this with your little ones as well. Tracing meridian lines. Meridian lines is something that's worth looking up on any kind of search engine, finding where your meridian lines are. This can help you as well as anyone that you're with. And tracing the meridian lines was something that's beautiful. It has a good energy. It doesn't have to be crystal. It could be other things too. We could be using essential oils and doing a gentle massage. There's a lot of different things that we can do. So this is a good question. Lizzie says, what's the best way to unblock our chakras and also identify the blocked ones? Well, understanding what each of the chakras identifies as, so the root chakra is the earth chakra. This is the chakra where we find safety. When we feel unsafe, we go to the root chakra to find balance in this lack of safety sensation, this lack of security sensation. And when this sensation doesn't get resolved, an individual will be typically having a life based in this root chakra space, overemphasizing it, and therefore just an unbalanced experience. And going into the sacral chakra tends to be where we kind of house our inner child, the shadow person, the shadow self. And so in integrating this by walking into this sacral chakra in meditation and having conversation with your inner self, and so on. This is a very complex question. And so since you haven't been very specific on which one you're talking about, there's a lot of resources out there that can answer a lot of these questions for you. So it's a good question. Understanding what the chakra means, so the area of your body that's being affected, compare that to against what you're experiencing, and see what part of it's unbalanced, off balance. Let's see. I'll go grab one more. Hi, Elsa. Everything matters. No randoms, right? Junk, waste, meaning soul use, act. Thank you, Elsa. Thank you very much. There's been so much beautiful energies coming in today, and so much. I could stay longer if I would like to stay longer if I could, but I do have a session coming up. Um, Anyone who is interested in doing a session with me, having a one-on-one, I'm $77 for a 1-hour session. You can find the link in the description of this video if you're interested. That'll take you to a scheduling site, and then you can pick a day and a time there. It's really been awesome connecting with so many people, and I am going to be coming on more often for the next little while. I'm more stabilized now. I'm in my own energy space. I don't have to negotiate the world with other people, so it makes it a lot easier to just do me. So therefore, we'll be doing more shows. Just dropped that big old crystal. I'm glad my foot was up here instead. In the next little while. So for instance, tomorrow I'm going live with Guardian at that's 10 a.m. Pacific time, 2 p.m. or excuse me, 12 p.m. Central time. That would be like, oh my goodness, like 3 a.m. for Elsa over in Australia. So and I believe that's 8 p.m. Athens. So it's going to be a live Q&A kind of situation like we're doing here, only I'll have Guardian with me. And it's going to be a fun conversation. We're also going to have on the 19th, my friend Alina is going to be here. She's really excuse me, she's really a beautiful, calm, lovely energy. The way that she connects to her guides and to the galactics in such a graceful, loving, peaceful way. It's just fun to have conversation with her and be able to see that there's input coming in from higher self, from these other amazing, beautiful energies. So it's a lot of fun. So that'll be on Wednesday. And then, if you are interested in joining me, if you'd like to join my show, please let me know. Send me an email at highervibrations at gmail.com. You'll find that in my description here. Connecting with me through Facebook Messenger never works. I don't respond to that. If you're getting messages on Facebook, it's not me. It's another one of the people pretending to be me. So just so you know, I love you all so very much. Happy solstice. It's here. We're here. There's some really cool stuff going on. I'll probably jump on live on solstice, at least for a little while. That's coming this coming Thursday. So I love you all. You got this. You're not alone. It's going to feel stronger, but it's good. Understanding it for the gift that it is often assists the experience when it's being had. So I love you so much.